Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Fatinawi. I will start the presentation. Definition of alcohol is a general term referred to the class of organic compound characteristic by the presence of the hydrogen group, or we call it as negative OH, attached to a carbon atom. While drinking alcohol, moderation can have pleasurable and social effect. Excess consumption can lead to the negative health outcome and education. Okay, the next part is the importance of alcohol in processed F&B. Many food and drinks can be present without alcohol. As is, alcohol consumption can have a negative effect, so that it's important to promote responsible drink habits. Applications are specific or process and may not be applied or necessary in all instances of alcohol consumption. You must consider the potential harm and risk of drink alcohol. The next part is the issue of alcohol in F&B. The issue of alcohol in F&B, or we call it as food and beverages industry, is complex and multifaceted. Existing alcohol consumption can lead to the many health problems, including cardiovascular problem, addiction, and mental. The challenge is to recognize the culture and social aspect of alcohol with the need for responsibility, consumption, and harm reducing. I think that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Balufid Ahmad Azani. My matrix number 280-153. Here I want to continue about the overview of the issue alcohol in food and beverage industry in Malaysia. In this part, beginning with the growth of the alcohol in food and beverage industry, in sense, all alcohol is arak, even though not all arak is alcoholic. Since ancient times, Malaysian cuisine and drink have included alcohol, particularly in traditional varieties, for example, tuak and arak. Alcohol use, however, increased among Malaysians in the 20th century, both socially and commercially. This trend is influenced by a number of variables, including rising affluence and accessibility to imported alcoholic beverage. In-country sales of alcoholic beverage climbed from 5.34 million litres in 2010 to 7.63 million litres in 2019. This data, according to DOSM, this rise is mostly attributed to the consumption of alcoholic drinks such as beer and whiskey, which are growing more and more well-liked among Malaysians in the food industry. Alcohol consumption, which is problematic in Malaysia due to the fact that the majority of the population, 61.30% of the country's population is Muslim, is forbidden from doing so by Sharia law. As a result, the Malaysian government has implemented policies to restrict the sale and consumption of alcohol, including tightening rules and rising taxes on alcohol manufacturing. Majority of jurists, including Imam Malik, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Ahmad, khamar refers to any alcoholic beverage that is intoxicating regardless on its sources. According to Zulkifli, khamar is currently known by a numbers name including samsu, toddy, wine, beer, and others. All of this is forbidden. The Prophet Muhammad SAW provided the following explanation in the hadith. Indeed, people among my people will drink wine that they call by others' name. Hadith riwayat Abu Dawud and Ibnu Majah. A lot of drink is intoxicating, so a little is forbidden. The Fatwa Council of Malaysia, Indonesia, and Singapore all decided to forbid the use of alcohol in the cooking of the cuisine. The Committee Singapore Fatwa states that it's forbidden to use alcohol since it is unclean even in little amount. Food and drink such as cake, ice cream, or cooking. As a result, Muslims should not consume alcohol-affected food because it will also result in feces. The second part is about the guidance on alcohol issues based on the current fatwa. This fatwa is made by the Special Muzakarah of the Fatwa Committee of the National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs of Malaysia that address the issues of alcohol in food is based on briefings, presentation, and explanation given by experts from the Institute Pendidikan Produk Halal, Universiti Putra Malaysia, and with consideration of the decision that have been made in previous. According to Table 1, the industrial ethanol has a variety of use in variety of industry. The Malaysian Fatwa Institution has approved the use of industrial ethanol in food, but only under certain circumstances that have already been established by their various Fatwa Council. While the Malaysian Fatwa Council permit the presence of naturally occurring ethanol in those small amount, which is only 1% of the mixtures should be natural ethanol. For the Muslim community, especially in Malaysia, the issues of alcohol in cooking is in addition to the problem of alcohol with right names and sources. Alcohol is frequently used in cooking, particularly in Western Chinese, Japanese, and Korean dishes, to give the food a distinctive and special flavor. According to a well-known Muslim chef in Malaysia, serving wine in moderation is acceptable in the Muslim community since logically the alcohol in the wine will burn and volatilize, leaving the dish alcohol content empty.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. I'm Nur Akidah Najhah binti Muhammad Rafi with metric number 280593. So I will talk about the current issues surrounding the production and the distribution of alcohol in food and beverage, and also will discuss the effect of using alcohol. Okay, alcohol is a type of drink that is forbidden in Islam because it is intoxicating nature. This issue of the use of alcohol such as rum and whiskey arise in the seafood as an additional flavor inherent to make them more delicious and palatable to eat. In the following year, alcohol is also said to be used in making pastry and cake as a glazing agent and a baking agent. Therefore, the forbidden of the drinking alcohol for Muslim community, the majority of the scholars also agree not to allow the use of alcohol in the halal food or drink even in a small quantity. Next, the issue of adding alcohol to cooking is also an issue for the Muslim community. Alcohol is often added in cooking, especially in Chinese, Japan, Korean, and Western recipes to give a unique and special taste to the food. This opinion turned out to be incorrect because the use of alcohol is completely prohibited in Islam. Even if a small amount of alcohol added to the food and drink product will also cause the status of the product to become illegal. And the last is the issue regarding alcohol that were committed was the issue of participating in the culinary courses that use alcohol or non-halal cooking ingredient. The committee is of the opinion that cooking using these ingredients during cooking classes is permissible if the food not prepared for Muslim and it's not eaten by the student themselves. The Fatwa committee also made a statement that the case of cooking using non-halal ingredients such as alcohol is not only allowed for the sole purpose of learning. When students have become a professional cook, he should completely avoid including alcohol in cooking even for male non-Muslim. This is because Muslims are absolutely forbidden to associate themselves in alcohol. Okay, next we go to the effect of using alcohol in food and beverage. Alcohol drink and food contain ethanol, which belong to the class of drug that can affect the functioning of the central nervous system. It can slow down the psychological and physical response of the user. Users who drink a lot of alcoholic beverage or food will become unstable or drunk when they are in a less stable or drunk stage. There will be a loss of motor. They may fall, have disagreement, has accident, get injured, or experience memory loss. There are complications of the short-term harmful effect associated with drinking. Getting drunk have another effect called hangover. Alcohol hangover is a side effect of alcohol consumption on the nervous system and brain are the most common long-term effect of alcohol in adults. It effect of mental illness including depression, mental illness, suicidal tendency, changes in behavior and thinking. In addition, continuous consumption of food and drink containing alcohol, especially in very large quantity, can also be toxic to the organ in the body. The toxic effect of the alcohol on the brain can also cause many mental disorder, for example, psychosis and depression mentioned above. In addition, alcohol can also be the causes of liver failure and cirrhosis, heart failure, inflammation of the pancreas, ulcer, gastric, and the cancer of the thyroid and oral cavity. And the last is scientific study also show that there is a link between food and alcohol consumption by pregnant women, which can cause them to suffer from birth defect, such as fetal alcohol syndrome. If they drink too much alcohol for a long time, the alcohol content in the blood system is too high, which can also cause poisoning or respiratory dysfunction, and it also cause sudden death. Therefore, they all need to meet with leader or professional in the field of healthy to assess their level of risk. Those who drink in dangerous is very risky amount, even in high risk situation, need to change the way they drink. First treatment can also prevent and reduce the level of alcohol harm to the society. Thank you.
We continue the presentation. For your information, alcohol is a chemical present in alcoholic beverages. According to Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 90, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has forbidden and prohibited Muslims from drinking wine, since it is an abhorrent conduct and includes the activities of the devil. As a result, wine becomes a deity in the Muslim forbidden from drinking it. The initial rule about ethanol in food was that it is an intoxicating substance. Any intoxicating substance in food is forbidden from consumption. Selecting halal food and beverages is the Muslim community's obligation. Food and beverage development and advancement make identifying the substances used in them hard, necessitating the assistance of public entities. As a result, we refer to the Department of Islamic Development, Malaysia, which is JAKIM Halal Hub Division, as the agency in charge of halal certification in Malaysia in collaboration with the Governmental Islamic Religious Department. The Muzakarah of Fatwa Committee of National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs, Malaysia, has rendered a judgment about the permissibility of alcohol in food and beverages. The Muzakarah of the 22nd Malaysian Islamic Religious Affairs Council's Fatwa Committee hosted a seminar on alcohol as a soft drink stabilizer on November 24, 1988. They have determined that the alcohol added to cordials with flavorings should be for stabilizing purpose. Food and beverage are acceptable or permitted given that first, the alcohol must not be the result of the alcohol making process, and second, ensure that the quantity of alcohol is small so that it does not cause intoxication. Okay, next, the Special Muzakarah of the National Council Fatwa Committee for Malaysia's Islamic Religious Affairs, which deals with alcohol issues and in foods, drinks, fragrances and cosmetics, was decided upon based on briefings, presentation and explanation made by experts from the Halal Product Research Institute, University Putra Malaysia, and taking into consideration the decision made in the Muzakarah of Fatwa Committee of the National Council for Islamic Religious Affairs, Malaysia earlier. So they made their decision, which are first, alcohol that is found in food or drinks containing flavoring or coloring with the purpose of stabilization is permissible, and alcohol is not produced from the process of making wine, and the alcohol content in the final product exceeds 0.5%. The second decision is food and beverages that naturally contain alcohol, such as fruits, nuts, seeds and their juice, as well as those that create alcohol as a byproduct of production of food or drinks, are not impure and permissible to be consumed. Third decision is alcohol is generally present in every alcoholic drink, but not all alcohol is considered as alcoholic beverages. The law of alcohol resulting from the manufacture of alcohol is najis, impure and prohibited. The last decision is alcohol that is not produced from the process of making alcoholic beverages is not impure, but is forbidden to drink. This is because it is poisonous and can cause death. That's all the conclusion of the decision that made by them.
My name is Sharifah Nur Baisara binti Said Muhammad Azni. I will discuss the challenge in implementing and enforcing alcohol in F&B standard and regulation. The process of putting alcohol consumption and rules and restriction into practice and upholding them can be difficult and time-consuming endeavor. First challenge is resistance from the industry. There is sometimes pushback from the alcohol industry when limits are put in place and enforced. This is because the alcohol industry may see this effort as bad as their business. Because of this, there could be trouble between the business and the group of regulate it, which would make it harder to follow the rules. Second is difficult in enforcement because of the nature of the product. Enforcing regulation that pertains to alcohol can be problematic. For example, it may be hard to tell if alcohol is being given to people under the legal drinking age or not. The last challenge are regulation pertaining to alcohol in the food and beverage industry. Typically only apply to licensed facility like bar and restaurant because their reach is more limited. Because of this, there is potential for the existence of the regulatory gap through which alcohol beverage can continue to be consumed and sold in variant of the law. Under the Food Act 1983 and Food Regulation 1985, the maximum amount of alcohol can be contained in food and drink in government Malaysia is 0.5 by volume. This implies that any food or beverage product that contains more than 0.5 alcohol by volume is regarded as an alcohol beverage and must comply with the appropriate legislation and license requirement for the sale and use of the alcohol beverage. This applies to both on-premise and off-premise consumption of alcohol beverage. Alcohol beverage provider must also practice responsible service. This regulation should include precise age, verification and injection of the obviously inebriated consumer. Responsible serving training may reduce alcohol-related issue and provide a safe and enjoyable dining experience for all guests. It is crucial to follow all relevant rules and regulations to stay legal. The juice is halal. since it contains less alcohol. Islamic law prohibits cider and other alcohol drink that greater than 1% alcohol. Since alcohol drink may be turned into vinegar, cider vinegar and vinegar in general al-halal. According to one hadith interpretation, we think something is illegal if it contains enough alcohol to intoxicate a person.
Okay, for a conclusion, alcohol consumption is problematic in Malaysia as the major of country population. 6.3% of the population is Muslim and is prohibited by Sharia law. Alcohol when made by an illegal process is illegal, but alcohol made by a illegal technique is not najis. Soft drink and alcohol content of less than 1 by value for the production alcohol are not impure. Drink are not to be consumed as the certain trace of alcohol and made using the same method as alcoholic beverages. I think that's all from our group. Thank you.